Hey everybody, this is Andy. In today's biblical adventures, we touch on the topic of Sodom. There's no insertion, just a little rimming around the periphery. The last time we left Dickbag Abram, he had inadvertently whored out his wife, Sarah, to the Pharaoh. You can check out the last episode if you want to get into the nitty and the gritty about that. But what's going to happen in chapters 13 and 14? Let's find out. So Abram went up from Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the Negev. Now Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold. He journeyed on by stages before the Negev as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place where he had made an altar at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, so that the land could not support both of them together. For their possessions were so great that they could not live together, and there was strife between the herders of Abram's livestock and the herders of Lot's livestock. At that time, the Canaanites and the Perizzites lived in the land. Then Abram said to Lot, "Let there be no strife between you and me, and between our herders and my herders, for we are kindred. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go to the right. If you take the right hand, then I will go to the left." Lot looked about him and saw the plain of the Jordan as well, watered and everywhere like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt in the direction of Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself all the plain of the Jordan, and Lot journeyed eastward. Thus they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled among the cities of the plain, and moved his tent as far as Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from them, "Raise your eyes now, and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward, for all the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if one can count the dust of the earth, your offspring also can be counted. Rise up, walk through the length and the breadth of the land, for I will give it to you." So Abram moved his tent and came and settled by the oaks of the Mamre, which are at Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. I don't think you can blame Lot for moving into sinful territory. Maybe the sinners over at Sodom, maybe they had a system of religious toleration. Maybe they had laws not made from some kind of fictitious being that lives in the sky and drowns the planet. Maybe they had a fairer system, but that would have been a curse in the eyes of Dickbag Abram's God. And even if it wasn't a great place, maybe it was a little run down. Maybe the area around Sodom was a little run down, and Lot decided to, head on over and maybe help gentrify it. Maybe he was just going to try to fix the place up. Maybe he was going to try to flip some properties. I don't know. But I don't think you can blame Lot for heading over to where things looked like they had potential. That's what the area seemed like to me. It had potential. Let's go on to chapter 14. Chapter 14 has a lot of these names that you could probably take out of one of H.P. Lovecraft's books. A lot of multisyllabic names that could be prefaced with the creeping doom of, like this guy, in the days of King Amraphel. Now that could just be the creeping doom of King Amraphel of Shinar. King Arioch, for those of you who are Michael Moorcock fans, the science fiction writer, the fantasy writer, Arioch, god of chaos. King Arioch of Elasnar, King Chedorlaomer of Elam, and King Tidal of Goim. These kings made war with King Bray of Sodom, King Bersha of Gomorrah, King Shinab of Admah, King Shemeber of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar. All these joined forces in the valley of Siddim, that is the Dead Sea. 12 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings who were there with him came and subdued the Rephaim in Ashtaroth, Carneam, and Zuzim in Ham, and Emim in Shava, Kirithaim. And the Horites in the hill country of Seir as far as El Paran and the edge of the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En Mishpat, that is Kadesh, and subdued all the country of the Amalekites. Remember the Amalekites. They'll be back. And also the Amorites, ditto, who lived in Hazazon Tamar. Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zobaim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar, went out and they joined battle in the valley of Siddim with King Chedorlaomer of Elam, King Tidal of Goim, King Amraphel of Shinar, and King Arioch of Alisnar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of bitumen pits, and as the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some of them fell into them, and the rest fell into the hill country. So the enemy took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their provisions and went their way. They also took Lot, the son of Abram's brother, who lived in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. So Lot got kidnapped. Lot napped. Then one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, who was living by the oaks of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and Aner. They were allies of Abram. When Abram heard that his nephew had been taken captive, he led forth his trained men, born in his house, 318 of them, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, he and his servants, and routed them and pursued them to Hobah, north of Damascus. Then he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his nephew Lot with his goods, and the women and the people. After his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Shava, that is the king's valley. And King Melchizedek of Salem brought out bread and wine. He was a priest of God Most High. He blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram by God Most High, maker of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." Abram gave him 1/10 of everything. Then the king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the persons," slaves, "but take the goods for yourself." But Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have sworn to the Lord, God Most High, maker of heaven and earth, that I would not take a thread or a sandal thong or anything that is yours, so that you might not say, 'I made Abram rich.' I will take nothing but what the young man had eaten, and the share of the men who went with me, Amar, Ishkal, and Mamre. Let them take their share." So I hope you enjoyed chapters 13 and 14. I have one announcement. I was on the World of Roe podcast recently. We talked politics, we talked religion, we talked all kinds of good stuff. He seems a little disappointed that I was sober. What are you going to do? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and please upvote. Take care. Have a good weekend.